This is one of the coolest books I have ever read. This was recommended to me by my partner's coworker, and it is so interesting. When I first saw it, I wasn't entirely sure, and then I flipped through the book, and there are these incredibly interesting drawings, and I had no idea who the author is. Uetsu, Uketsu. Sorry, I'm bad at names. But the blurb about him says he is he is an enigmatic presence on YouTube and an author specializing in horror and mystery. He always appears in videos wearing a white mask and black body stocking, with his voice digitally distorted. His true identity is unknown. His novels Strange Pictures and Strange Houses were massive hits in Japan where he lives. So this is Strange Houses, and I do also have the other two, but I have not started reading them yet. I should have probably looked into the series more before I started reading it, but again, since it was a recommendation, I just kind of dove in without planning it. But I wasn't entirely sure what order to read it in. The coworker said to start with this one because I think that's the one she started with. And then I think she said Strange Buildings and then Strange Pictures. But let me know if you have a different opinion because I do want to read it in like the most accurate way. I just was going to read this next because it has a similar type of, I don't know, organization with like graphics and stuff of floor plans. And since I just got into the floor plans, I thought that it would make sense for me to continue the floor plan theme. But if you think Strange Pictures goes better after Strange Houses, let me know. It's really interesting because there is a plot, but I feel like you don't really get into the plot until about halfway through, maybe more, because it's so mysterious. It's set up in these kind of series of interviews where it's like the author's talking to a person and interviewing them about their experience with something. But like a lot of them have this kind of interview style dialogue. But also, of course, there are these incredible floor plans that he adds in too. At the risk of spoiling it, I'll stick to the floor plan on like the first page. This is like not a spoiler. There's also the floor plan on the cover, but essentially in all of the floor plans there's like a mysterious space. Do you see the space? And so it says, "This is the floor plan of a certain house. Do you see anything strange about it? At first glance, it probably looks totally normal, like anyone might live there. But if you look very closely, you might notice things here and there that seem off. The off details pile up and link together to lead to one inescapable truth, a truth so terrifying you won't want to believe it." I'm just going to give you a little bit more background because I feel like, let's see, what can I, okay, I'll read you the summary or the blurb because I don't want to read too much of the actual book because it's so interesting and so cool that I would not want to spoil any of it. Like it's just, I don't even know how to describe it. It's like so mysterious, and I've really never read a book like it, and I've read a lot of books, so I don't know. It's interesting because the blurb on the front says, "From the best-selling author of the wildly inventive Strange Pictures comes another phenomenon. From Japan, unnatural layouts, trapdoors, windowless rooms, a sinister conspiracy is concealed within a house's warped and unsettling floor plans." So I wonder if Strange Pictures was first. I really should have looked into this more. Doesn't matter. I feel like they're all pretty standalone. I would imagine that there's nothing really carried between them, but who knows. I'll let you know when I read the other two. When a writer fascinated by the macabre is approached by an acquaintance, he finds himself investigating an eerie house for sale in Tokyo. The building, with its bright and spacious interior, seems like the perfect first home, but upon closer inspection, its floor plan reveals a mysterious dead space hidden between the walls. Seeking a second opinion, the writer shares the layouts with his friend Kurihara, the architect, only to discover more unnerving details throughout. What is the true purpose behind the house's disturbing design? And what happened to the former owners who disappeared without trace? When a body suddenly appears and a young woman reaches out about a second house, it soon becomes clear that the writer and his friend may be over their heads. In Strange Houses, the mystery horror YouTube sensation Uketsu casts readers in the role of detective, inviting them to help map out the truth hidden within a series of chilling and puzzling floor plans and the terrifying plot behind it all. So, I don't know. Again, I haven't read a book really like this. I feel like all the quotes on the back are like not very helpful. I mean, it's like a labyrinthian and multi-layered horror mystery, wonderfully complex and carefully crafted. Uketsu keeps readers guessing until the very end, the New York Times Book Review. Wonderfully inventive, delightfully macabre, and fiendishly clever, G.T. Carber, author of Myrtle. As creative as it is fleet and offers a whirlwind ride, variety. A triumphant international debut, Publishers Weekly. I read this on my very long plane ride on the way to Europe, and honestly, I finished it probably in the first hour and a half, maybe. It's a very quick read, partially because of the floor plan element, but I feel like I spent almost as much time reading the text as I did looking at the graphics, because often the text references things in the graphics that are very specific, and it like forces you to kind of look at it and think about it. Also, the graphics are so well done, the layouts are so well planned, and I am a huge fan of architectural design anyway, so I'm a little bit of a nerd. My undergrad minor was in architecture, so I don't know, I get really nerdy about pages like this. It makes me very excited. But I don't think you have to have a background in architecture to enjoy it. The coworker who recommended it to me is not at all an architect, but she also found this really interesting. So if you have any curiosity towards it, if you've seen it at the bookstore, just get it. Just this is not an audiobook. You have to get the physical copy. I can't imagine there even being an audiobook to this, because it's so important to be able to look at the layout. I'm probably going to end up gifting this or lending it to one of my friends because I want them to read it so bad. It's just so cool, and I'm so glad I read it. I will definitely be taking more book recommendations from that coworker in the future, because she clearly knows what she's talking about.